Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene of Living World of Darkness Rage across New York. And tonight we start the scene as the sun is slowly setting over in the umbral reflection of the sept, and yeah, it grows dark. As this happens, there are torches are being lit by several Garu in placed in a large circle around Chimera's shrine. They all do this in silence. Tlatin is there to basically point out where everything needs to be standing and is coming up with actually some sort of a costume that she's putting on. And as she does so, she finally puts up a mask that looks somewhat like this. She she is dressed up completely. She will throw her head in her neck and will howl out to the septs. It starts kind of softly, but it slowly grows in strength as she speaks. And she says, Garu of the Sept of the Green, a loss was felt by all of us. One of our sept totems, Wise Chimera, has left us to return to the cycle and awaits his rebirth. He fought as bravely as all of us, but in the end was defeated by those who served the madness. Tonight, let us honor the spirit who provided us with protection and wisdom. Come forth to his shrine, Garu of the nation, and honor him with your lost gifts. Tell him of your growth as a proud Garu and give him a worthy farewell. And yeah, she'll stand there and wait for the Garu of the Sept to gather around the shrine.
Chloe's one of the first to get there upon hearing the howl.
Will is
And
not far. Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. Keep going.
Yeah, Will's not far behind her. Yeah, he has been keeping an eye, or he's been kind of sometimes loitering around Talatahine. So yeah, he's not far away, and he'll hear it through the pack link.
Uh, well, basically, Shinlo will soon follow, but he will have on very ceremonial like clothing, and it will be all black with gold, like very, very different symbols on it than the traditional Guru. But like basically, you will know that he has the Stargazer symbol, and he'll have a all golden ceremonial sword on his side, basically with a bunch of symbols on it. He'll have like beads around him, and then he'll have something in his hand, and he will just basically come and just have a very blank expression on his face.
Yeah, Tlatin will wait until all Garu of the Sept, well, at least everybody who wishes to come, of course, are gathered, and she will she'll actually start to do a she picks up her drum and starts to like drum a very slow monotone rhythm as she watches and waits for everyone to come around to gather in the circle of the torches. And yeah, when everyone's there, she'll just look around the crowd. Thank you all for coming. Um, we have lost we have lost dreams and wisdom given to us by our totem, Chimera. Everyone here on Sept has felt this loss. Everyone has felt the emptiness. Chimera helped us in ways that many of us probably still can't perceive. Has guided us with dreams and with warnings but also has taught us to use our heads to think and to think in ways that aren't straightforward, to question truths that we hear and to analyze the things that we saw. He has helped us change ourselves so we could provide the confusion, conflict within our enemies, or to hide amongst them and learn their secrets. But also, Chimera wanted us to look inwards towards ourselves, to learn, to grow, to become a better person, a better guru. It is these gifts and these lessons that we will miss, but it's also these gifts and lessons that we will now have to pass on ourselves. Chimera may no longer be a guardian of the sept, but we can still take its lessons and teach them to other guru that have not learned of Chimera, that have not gotten to know its wisdom. With the attack on Sept a few nights ago, many of us fought, all of us fought. And not just Garou. Our totems and other Gaian spirits that are on Sept have fought as well. And although we are blessed with not losing one of the guardians of Gaia, one of the Garou, we now have to suffer this loss of Chimera. Even though the spirits cannot die and they simply need their time to be reformed. We do not know if Chimera will ever deem our sept worthy again of its blessing. So for now, I would like to take this night to honor Chimera, to honor the gifts that he has given us, and to make us all think about how we have grown as persons, as Garu, as guardians of Gaia. I hope all of you would come forward, place your offerings at the shrine. But even more than offerings, as Chimera was a spirit of dreams and wisdom, I think Chimera would appreciate the stories, what you have learned of him, how you have grown, how you've become better. It is these things that I hope we can all share together as a sept tonight. And I would like to start offering my story of how I've grown as a Garou, as a person. It was when I was a Cleath. I wasn't even a cup. I was barely a cup anymore. We had returned from the Amazon to the Sept, and Well, I was sitting at the lake, and another Garu came to this lake. It was Fianna Ragabash, Aiden. That point also still cleared. My head was filled with what I knew of Fianna. How in the past they have treated the Wendigo, their kin. And my head was filled with prejudice, and my eyes were filled with hate. Still, we sat down together and we talked. The conversation was difficult at first, but one of the things he said kept me thinking for a long time. He told me of his people, the kin, but also the humans, and how they were pushed themselves and how they were enslaved almost themselves, rounded up by others and brought to the Pure Lands, and how from their perspective they felt like they needed to fight to survive, and how they fought. And although that does not change what has happened in the past, it made me think, and it made me realize that a story can have more than one side, like a coin, like a shell. It has an outside that is different than the inside, but it's still the same shell, it's still the same coin. And it made me realize that perhaps not all that I learned was, well, I learned that there was more than one truth to a story. And that is a lesson that I carry with me even today. And the story that I would like to offer as Chiminich to Chimera. And Tlatahin will give one more, one more bung on the drum. We'll then place it aside and pick up um, a clay jar. We'll open it and go over to Chimera's shrine and just empty the what did I call it? The jar, and it's filled with shells and with coins and all things that have more than one side. And when she empties it, she will kneel down next to the shrine and will mumble a prayer in an Octatuk. And we'll step aside and, well, we'll wait for the others to come forth with their stories or with whatever they want to say.
After a moment, Chloe will step forward. She has a bag over her shoulder, but she doesn't touch that just yet. She simply turns to face as many people as she can. And kind of pause to think for a second how to say this, but will finally speak up. Like Tlatahin, my story is an older one. It was very soon after I had come to this sept. Mere weeks, I think. weeks to a month, no longer. And a previous, let's just say that there was a situation that we were needing to pay chiminage to Chimera. And the chiminage was that we had to teach, basically we needed to teach each other something that the other one didn't know. Kind of a trade almost. And I ended up teaching to a child of Gaia, Philodox, by the name of Red. I taught her how to crochet. And she taught me more about manners. And I learned a lot from her. Not just how to be better behaved, but I learned from her deeper knowledges, I think. That Medicis were people and not monsters, for all that they're born in Krenos. And I learned of a real friendship. And though she's gone, these lessons are not something that I've ever forgotten. She was the kindest person that I met when I came here. And for that, I have to be grateful to Chimera. I mean, it was a chiminage that needed paid, and granted, we all paid it. But I would willingly pay that chiminage over and over again for the lessons that I learned. Because you think you're going in for one lesson, and you really come out with a totally different lesson out of it. Chimera knew best. And with that, she's actually going to not rummage because it's bright on top, but she's going to pull out a small pink baby blanket that's really well made. I mean, she has crafts 3 in this. And what was it you had up there? Was it like a fire, or was it some place to put these things? Because you said you opened up the seashells.
Yeah, there's just in front of the. You can just place your offerings there.
Okay, that's fair. And yeah, it's a very finely made pink, sort of very small baby blanket type thing. And she's going to hold it up and she's going to say, this is in memory of the lessons of friendship and lessons of manners and lessons of how to make useful things with yarn and the deeper truths that even the simplest lesson can bring. And she will walk up there and she will place the blanket folded very neatly off to one side so that the seashell, so that the shells can be seen. And she will then turn around and walk back to her spot.
Will, while this has been going on, has kind of to the back of the small crowd been scrawling in his notebook / diary thing that he carries around. And yeah, he basically, there's a ripping sound as he pulls out a page and he just walks forward. You can see that on one side of the page is a kind of lightly sketched, although very accurate, creativity coming in a way that only the wild can provide to this novice artist, but an image of basically a very happy looking Will, probably before he was a Garu. He looks happy. He's wearing a t-shirt, and he looks young. And on the other side of the paper is a more scratchy, kind of obviously heavier on the paper sketch of something similar to what Will looks like now. A more dire expression, the scar. And just the painting conveys a level of, kind of energy and anger and pain to it. And Will basically just kind of puts a double-sided sketch in front of Chimera, pauses for a moment, and then walks back into the crowd without saying anything.
And I think after that, other Garu will have their word offerings, and there's one person who waits until everyone is done.
Shinlo will get up and go to basically the used to be shrine, and will take his sword out and plant it in the ground, and basically will just say, "You was too good for this sect." He will get up and turn around, and he will take out basically a salt shaker, and he will put it off to the side. Chimera knows my thanks. I've been weeping, crying, calling out to Chimera, and singing my tales while I've been here at the old shrine. But I have another that I need to say. It's not just a tale. We, as the Scepter of the Grain, fucked up. My bad if I cut out. But basically, Shiloh just be like, we all failed in our duties of Gaia, and it got to the point where the enemy was able to push almost near the Karen Heart, and it basically took the help of the Tolls to, help out. My bad if I cut off, but what happened? Did anything happen when I cut off?
You just cut out. We
Oh, my
waited.
bad. He said, what did that tell us about us? I don't know. And we go around the steps saying that we're mighty fighters and stuff. In case that we fail. A totem failed because of our incompetence. It's not just the Ragabash that gives tough love, it's the Galliers that give tough love too. And I'm giving that out right now. We failed. We failed in our duties. I failed in my duties. I should have been right here in this shrine. I should have died that day. I failed. We all failed. Everybody on the set failed. We failed. So, as a Galliard, I will like the, victories until we get this victory in this hellhole. That's when I like to hear victories. We just showed that, they made us our bitch. So, let's use this time, this precious time that we got to train and hone in on our skills and have an effect. If not, they'll push in our shit again. And probably another totem will fail. This is not just because of the totem. This for all the totems and the people that we are the first line of defense, not the totems. We failed. Everybody in the set failed. So take this as a reminder that we're fighting in a war and stop sugarcoating everything. I don't like that. So take wisdom is that take wisdom in this. We need to have a plan of attack. We need to have a game next time, no matter what. Because I know I will. As the one who patron for my tribe, I definitely better be on my A game. Because if something like this was to happen, if my elders was to find out, they'll basically beat me to death. We all fail. So take this into consideration. Step up your game, Step to the Green. Be in a war. And Shenlo would just take, sit down, bow to the shrine. We failed you, Chimera. I'm not sugarcoating that. Maybe one day when we are worthy enough, you can come back to this set. Let's try to get us. Let us try to work as a set to get us a win, because we failed you, and I'm sorry. And he would just walk back to the gathering.
Yeah, after like a long silence, because that was, well, kind of unexpected, although she kind of understands why Shinlo is not too happy. Tlatin will step up again and will beat on the drum 3 times. We've all spoken of the things that we've learned from Chimera, from our beginning when we were still young and inexperienced, to, she looks at Shinlo, but a couple of days ago when we also learned.
Not to be vicious, yeah.
She'll raise an eyebrow, which is luckily invisible behind the mask. Even in his last moments, I can agree that Chimera gave us a lesson, and it's up to us to now interpret and understand this lesson, to learn from it, to learn and to experience and to grow as Garu, as Pax, and as Sept. We all by now know that we need each other. We need each other to stay as one in the Sept, in the city. Scar, some of us call it. We need each other to bite at our enemies, but also to defend those things that cannot defend themselves or that need our protection in any other way. It is important to realize that we are all different, but we're also all the same. We are stargazers, bone gnars, black furies, children of Gaia, silver fangs, shadow lords, Uktena, Fiona. We are also Enigo. We all have our different goals, our different dreams. But in the end, we serve one goal: to protect Gaia, to fight for her, to protect her spirits, to protect her lands. And it is with these dreams and goals, even though some may differ, some may think differently, but it's the goals that we have together that will give us the opportunity to learn from each other and to learn from each other's differences as well. We cannot learn if we do not understand each other, and through our common goals we do. I think it's that Chimera tried to teach us in those last moments. That even though he was a totem and a spirit, and even though his goals may have been different, he still fought alongside us. We will have to worry about building an attack, strike back at our enemies. And we will also, as Brother Shinlo pointed out, have to worry about our defenses to make sure that we will not allow this to happen again. We thank you, Chimera. As all your words, and Tlatin will finally take off the mask and place it in front of the shrine next to all the other, offerings. And we'll again bang her drum, this time only once. And we'll howl. No words, just a simple primal howl. Is all Wendigo do when they say farewell.
Will joins in the howl of loss.
Shinlo would join in, but it won't be a howl. It'll basically be. You ever heard them T-Rexes like roar in Jurassic Park? Yeah, it's like that. It's howl.
Chloe will remain silent, respectfully silent, as she's pretty much focusing on the story she's heard and the things in front of her at the shrine. But she's not joining in the house. She is doing this her own way.
After a while, and after the howls have died out, Tlatin will basically start to extinguish the torches. And I think with that, unless anyone else wants to do anything,
Yeah, I would like to, just quickly. As the group is kind of departing, Will is going to walk over to Shinlo and just kind of look at him. You're not as astute as you think.
What did he say to him?
He says, "You're not as astute as you think."
What does that word mean? If you don't mind educating them, if you don't mind educating me for a little bit.
You're right. But if it took the loss of our totem, he says, what you said was right, but if it took the loss of our totem to make you realize that we're failing in our duty to Gaia, then you're not as astute as you think. And he'll leave.
We failed. You failed.
We've been failing much longer than since Chimera died. He says we've been failing for much longer than since Chimera died.
Well, you have your ways of my ways of slap in the face. They made us all bitches.
I didn't hear that.
Sorry.
Dude.
Basically, you have your ways of seeing failures. I have my ways of seeing failures, but that basically was showing that they bitch slapped us.
They did. They did. And yeah, we'll leave.
Yeah, and Shinlo will stay at the shrine.
All right. And then I think with that, unless someone also wants to do something else or still wants to do something else, I think it is safe to say that we can end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And this was another scene of Living World of Darkness. And good night.